Vamos a ver un nuevo ETF de Bitcoin y todo el mundo está extremadamente emocionado por eso, y de hecho Bitcoin se encuentra en los máximos de los últimos 6 meses, tanto por las esperanzas de este ETF como por las preocupaciones por la inflación, así que esto es muy importante. Lo único es que este artículo es de hace un año y no sé si esto suena o no, pero este es exactamente el mismo tipo de artículos que estamos viendo ahora mismo. Este artículo es de 2023, mientras que el anterior era de 2021, y mi punto, y lo primero que quería dejaros claro en este vídeo, machacad esos likes, damas y caballeros, es que ya hemos estado exactamente en esta situación muchas veces antes con Bitcoin y su drama de la ETF. Y no me malinterpretéis. Yo sigo estando en mi posición en largo que lleva abierta tanto tiempo, estoy en el máximo de mis beneficios, he hecho mucho dinero en este trade y me encantaría ver cómo Bitcoin sigue subiendo, pero al mismo tiempo no quiero engañarme a mí mismo ni ponerme en un círculo con vosotros para darnos palmaditas en la espalda, hablando de cómo vamos a tener inversores institucionales en Bitcoin, porque eso es muy confuso. Os han vuelto a engañar con esa noticia del ETF y yo estoy aquí para demistificar todo un poco. Y el tema es que si no sabéis lo que son estos ETFs, son otra forma para que los grandes jugadores, las instituciones, puedan invertir y tradear estos mercados. Y si le echamos un vistazo a Blackrock, entenderemos muy bien la magnitud de todo esto. Esta es una de las empresas más grandes de Estados Unidos y por algún motivo la gente no parece entender demasiado bien esta compañía, pero de hecho esta es una compañía enorme que gestiona trillones de dólares, así que tengan un ETF de Bitcoin potencialmente es otra avenida para que el dinero entre en estos mercados. Pero como ya sabéis, yo soy un analista técnico. No me importan demasiado estas noticias, nunca lo han hecho, y por eso he sido capaz de tradear estos mercados también y no dejarme llevar por todas estas tonterías y todo ese ruido. Este nunca ha sido mi enfoque, sino que a mí lo que me interesa más es cómo han salido estas cosas en el pasado. Y si le echamos un vistazo a estos artículos tan emocionantes sobre las ETFs que vimos hace años, por cierto, este es el ETF del que estamos hablando y al parecer ha caído sobre un 50% desde su creación. Podemos echarle un vistazo a todos estos números y de hecho intentaré dejar estas fuentes para vosotros en la descripción. Pero lo que tenemos aquí es muy claro. En este artículo todo el mundo está realmente emocionado. Esto es octubre de 2021. Y ahora vamos a movernos hasta aquí para ver exactamente cuándo fue esto. Si vamos al 18 de octubre de 2021, veremos que este artículo fue publicado exactamente en esta vela de aquí. Y no puedo explicaroslo mejor que esto. Es muy claro que estas noticias suelen llegar en los techos, porque básicamente es así como funciona. Cuando tenemos instituciones que están intentando entrar a estos mercados, lo que piensan los idiotas del espacio de las criptos es que van a comprar el techo justo cuando tú estás vendiendo tus monedas. Y eso no funciona así. Cada vez que hemos visto inversores institucionales entrar al espacio, de hecho el precio ha caído. Y esto es un poco preocupante porque más o menos estamos en la misma posición ahora mismo. Hemos tenido una preciosa subida, más del 100% desde nuestro mínimo, y ahora han salido a la luz estas noticias del ETF, lo cual para mí es extremadamente incómodo porque cada vez que esto ha sucedido, por lo que yo puedo recordar, esto ha terminado un desastre. Porque la primera vez que vimos grandes noticias sobre esto, y dejadme saber si estoy equivocado, pero creo que fue en diciembre de 2017, y ni siquiera tengo que contaros lo que sucedió después de esto, pero de hecho esto terminó un mercado alcista de 2 años con la entrada de estos inversores institucionales al mercado. Y si vosotros lo recordáis, dejádmelo saber en los comentarios. Por cierto, últimamente habéis estado a tope con el canal. Nuestro análisis está siendo muy acertado. Os he estado diciendo en estos vídeos que realmente nada ha cambiado y como podéis ver en los comentarios, vosotros sois muy conscientes de ello. Y eso es precisamente porque el análisis no ha cambiado aquí. Ahora vamos a hablar de esto y profundizaremos un poco más en esa noticia del ETF de Blackrock y por qué a mí no me parece demasiado importante. Y si nos fijamos en los técnicos, sí hemos tenido un gran rally, sí hemos tenido dos correcciones consecutivas y ahora estamos en un retroceso de 2 meses en el que hemos caído un 20% y de hecho acabamos de barrer ese máximo y establecer un nuevo mínimo y máximo más alto. Así que con todo esto que vemos en la gráfica, sigue siendo cierto que nada ha cambiado
and for that reason, I'm gonna, that's gonna be the context that I give you guys this analysis in. I do want to highlight before I continue that if you are interested in trading these markets, then the platforms I've linked for you are the best in the space. BingX does not require KYC, which means no pictures of yourself and no pictures of your ID. But the best part about BingX is that you can trade these stocks right here: Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Forex, indices, commodities, all with leverage just from a Bitcoin deposit, and again, without even doing any KYC. So it is a very, very flexible exchange. Bybit, for me, remains the best exchange in the space, and depending on what you deposit and trade with and you sign up using my link, you're going to get up to $30,000 of free trading ammunition that they give you in your account, and any profits that you generate with that are yours to keep. You can YOLO this cash, you can throw it wherever you like, and if you make any money with it, it is yours to withdraw. OKX, very exclusive 60K campaign, ends in 5 days as well. Lots of beautiful offers, but we'll get to those in just a second. What I want to cover with you guys first is the fact that this kind of stuff has resulted in disasters for the market before, right? And this is, this is what people get really, really excited by, and rightfully so. We're getting excited by the prospect of people buying these Bitcoins and, new money flowing in, especially when it's really big markets flowing in. But, I think what people fail to consider, and what I mentioned earlier on in this YouTube video, is that this is only, a door that's opening for these investors, but they're not going to take it until the prices go to better levels. And I think that is what people really do tend to forget. If we actually go ahead and read this article and just take a look at what they are covering here, obviously this is the world's biggest asset manager. These guys are huge. It's weird that we're only hearing that. Like, I haven't heard of Blackrock until probably like this year or last year. So pretty recent considering how big they are. It's just one of those things. But what's very cool is they're using Coinbase as their custodian for these coins, which is very, very interesting indeed. And the rest of the article just kind of goes on to talk about how, people, previously were very scared with the FTX collapse, but then actually, we're seeing some of this sentiment get revived after, Binance, Coinbase were sued by the SEC in the United States. It was pretty messy, but since then, people are very, very excited. And this is one of those things that, look at this quote says it itself: the dark clouds overshadowing crypto have lifted in the recent days amid a burst of institutional interest. This is the thing, is that, this institutional interest was here before. Why are we getting the headlines right now? These are important questions to be asking, because this is coming at a potential market top, or certainly a very, very important resistance level. And that's not to say that the price can't keep on going up. It certainly can, but my concern is that, just going off what's happened in the past, this has almost always resulted in bad things for the market. It's just one of those things where the market tends to top afterwards, and I can't tell you exactly why, because I don't know. But if I had to guess, this is just one of those things where people are getting really, really excited over something that, hasn't necessarily even happened yet. And that's quite typical. I think one thing that people really do tend to forget in these markets is that it's the news that drives the price up. It's the hype that drives the price up. But once the news actually drops, once the ETF actually launches, once the Ethereum upgrade actually happens, once the SEC case is over, even if it's a victory, all of the speculation is done now. And I think that's what people don't really understand, is in these markets, we're trading to speculate, right? You don't want to be the last person in, you want to be the first person in, which means that, you're going to take on the most risk at the beginning, but that's where the most money can be made as well. And then once, the news is published, once the move has already happened, once the event has happened, there isn't any reason to be excited anymore. And this is, you never really think about this until it actually happens. And, you wouldn't even confront this reality unless you've, traded based off these ideas and then lost money. And obviously, I've done that. So I'm speaking from experience here. I have lost money in every way imaginable in these markets. And that's why I speak about them the way I do now with you guys right here on this YouTube video. And this is just one of these very, very typical situations here where we might be walking into a trap. And I do want to remind you guys that, again, while, and we have plenty of reasons to be bullish in this market, do not get me wrong. Like I said, I'm still in this long position. I've traded it incredibly well so far, and I intend on staying in this position, for ideally quite some time now. But at the very same time, let's not fool ourselves, and let's just take a second to appreciate and understand that this is still the most significant area of resistance that Bitcoin has on this chart. And yeah, admittedly, we've done well so far, but we haven't really punched in a much higher high. In fact, off this high right here to the wick, it's only like a percent point higher, 1 percentage point higher. Like, we're not actually doing anything that's mind-blowing or anything that's just, new paradigm, kind of territory in this market here. And I think that is a really important point that we ought to consider here, is that, like, while we are getting all of these bullish headlines, and we have a million reasons to be bullish, don't get me wrong. I mean, if we look at the Forflies dashboard right here, fear and greed rating of 64, this hasn't been pushing up, which I'm actually quite happy about. If we look at this right here, I mean, 65 right here, 65, then we dip down back up to 64. We're not pushing up right now. We're just kind of stabilizing up here, which, you know, granted, this is quite high, but we're not in extreme greed right now. So I don't think that's looking particularly bad. Binance retail traders, obviously always getting it wrong, are still majority short right now. You know, and actually Bybit traders are majority short right now as well. This is unusual. We don't usually see Bybit traders and Binance traders on the same side of the market. You know, but the point is like we've got a lot of retail. This data also for Bybit does include retail traders. You know, these guys are still majority short, so we've got the right signs here. We know that retail traders don't typically make money, and we know that if they're betting heavily on one side, it's probably going to go in the opposite direction. Just generally, that's how it's been in my experience, at least. And this is all happening at a resistance level, which is a really important thing to keep in mind, right? I still have the confidence that we're going to break this resistance level, and I'm sure that it's going to happen relatively soon. But at the very same time, even if we get up to 34, 35, 36K, we still are facing a lot of resistance in this range. And, you know, the last time this happened, you know, with the Blackrock news, with this article that I showed you guys at the very beginning of the video, you know, the price did still manage to pump up by like another kind of 10, 11%. And guess what's about 10, 11% away from us right now? And I'm not trying to say that we're going to do the same thing again, but the setup is there. You know, we certainly have the puzzle pieces in the same place right now. We have the same headline, guys. I mean, it's weird. It's creepy even. You know, 6-month high. Granted, okay, this is a 12-month high, but still it's very, very similar on ETF hopes and inflation worries, right? And so, you know, and we're seeing the same thing happen exactly the same way again. And it is one of those things where, you know, you can choose to ignore this and you can choose to say that this time is different, and you very well might be right. I would love to side with you there because I'm betting on the long side as well, being in my long side. I'm not betting, but I'm on the long side as well. I'm still very much expecting the price to go up, but at the very same time, you can't deny that this is quite a compelling sign here that, you know, we've seen before and we've ignored before, you know, and that typically doesn't end particularly well. So I do think this is something that's really important to keep in mind here, you know, while everybody else is excited about this kind of thing happening in the market. I mean, you know, with the ETF that we've had right here, it didn't end particularly well. With the things that happened in 2017, like I said, those things didn't end particularly well. So it's not like we're coming at this from a place of huge strength, you know, and then again, like I said, sitting at these resistance levels, it does make it all the more concerning. I do think that we should be open to the possibility of maybe, you know, some sort of like deviation up here and then back down, maybe some support, and then we're just kind of raging sideways perhaps, you know, leading into the 2024 halving event, and then maybe we get the breakout. I know this would suck. You know, it would be great as traders, to be honest. We'd have really nice, predictable, strong areas of support and resistance to be trading off. But at the very same time, obviously, we want to see some more price action on Bitcoin. You know, and again, just it's these resistance areas. If we can get above it, then yeah, that's a big mark of progress. But so far, we have been stopped, right? I mean, you know, we've been doing okay on these short time frames. If we look at this on the Coinbase chart and really zoom in to understand where this chart is and where it might go, you know, we've been doing well. I think that if you actually just kind of zoom out and look at what happened 2 months ago, you know, we are in a situation right now where if I just go ahead and kind of draw a box at these levels, we are finding, you know, support right now in an area where previously we were finding resistance, which I think is really important and well worth paying attention to. I mean, look at how predictable this resistance was for the market way back here in April of this year, you know, and look at how beautifully we're finding support off it right now. So, you know, if we do zoom in, we've got a really good picture, and that is great. I do like the look of that. You know, the fact that we're consolidating is giving us plenty of time for these indicators to catch up. If we look at this on the hourly time frame, we've got some beautiful support right here on the hourly Ichimoku cloud. We are in it right now. We're also giving a chance for the 4-hour time frame to catch up. It's going to take a while, you know, and this is going to be more useful if the price does drop back down, and that is something that I'm welcoming. You know, I don't mind if the price does have to, you know, come back down for a little bit of a support grab here and then continue to move up. But the beautiful thing is that we're not continuing this rocket ship up. This is giving us a chance to correct, and it's giving us a chance to, you know, form this rally much more sustainably. I think this is really important, is that, you know, I mean, previously we rallied up off this low from $20,000 around where I entered my long position. It was about over here, you know, and then we didn't have any price-based corrections. We just traded sideways for a bit, and that obviously didn't work out. We needed to come down for a bigger correction and then try it again, which is what we're doing right now. So, you know, we've got the setup. We're coming at it from a better place as well, and we're now consolidating, which is absolutely beautiful. If we look at the momentum on this chart as well, 4-hour EMA ribbon is very close to the current price action right now. So if the price does dip down a little bit, we're going to have a lot of support for momentum. If we look at this on the hourly time frame, we've got the support right here as well on the daily time frame. Everything is bullish. Everything is still pointing to the upside on this chart until we zoom out. And again, when we zoom out, this is when it becomes uncomfortably clear that there is still quite a bit of resistance up ahead for Bitcoin. Represented by this kind of thick yellow line here, which could certainly turn into a bit of a problem for Bitcoin on this chart. And again, while everybody's getting very excited by this kind of headline, and granted, I mean, there's a lot of things that make sense for it. I haven't been going into massive detail of this stuff because it just doesn't matter, to be quite honest with you guys. At the same time, I do want you guys to take it all with a pinch of salt, because we are at the perfect time for the market to dupe us, for the market to trick us, into thinking that the same thing that's happened previously every single time won't happen again. And this is only, I saw a beautiful quote today on Twitter, completely unrelated, although somewhat related, saying that if you still trust your government, it means your history teacher hasn't done a good enough job, and it's similar here. If you still trust that these ETFs are going to, take us to all-time highs and so on and so forth, then you haven't been studying history well enough. This is the kind of thing where you actually get a lot more cautious. This is the kind of thing where people are becoming really bullish and really excited. And for me, that is a time for me to be a little bit more cautious, in the words of, Warren Buffett, trying to stay a little bit more greedy when people are cautious and a little bit more cautious when people are greedy. That's kind of the direction that I'm trying to be in. Look, I'm not trying to go like ridiculous on that side and like be too far on the extreme, but at the very same time, when everyone's, celebrating, jumping in circles and dancing, around these kind of ETF headlines, I am going to be the voice of caution, and I am going to be the guy that, fuck me, it is a little bit of a killjoy, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm here to make money. I'm not here to enjoy myself and have a fun time. And that does mean acknowledging these uncomfortable truths. Is that, this is one of those things where you kind of don't want to see it, because these are the kind of headlines that do come out when markets are near tops. So, look, for me personally, with the way I'm seeing the market, we're still trending. We've pulled back. We're still in the same uptrend now. We've swept the high, albeit not by very much. Short-term trend still looks good. It's only the long-term trend that I think could be problematic for Bitcoin, but the way we're consolidating is very, very promising, and the way we've actually come down was also very promising. So it doesn't have to be, a bad situation for Bitcoin right now, and I am going to continue to monitor this very, very closely. I've actually been very strongly considering a position on Ethereum, which I will not be speaking about right now, but VIPs will be fully informed on that. I think I've already told them about it. No, I haven't actually made a post in VIP about that, so that's going to be going in right after this YouTube video. I have also covered Cardano with you guys earlier today as well. So there's a lot of opportunities in these markets, and let alone in crypto, just across Forex and stocks as well. I mean, these indices markets are just, at spectacularly high levels right now. So you guys are going to be able to find me on BingX taking advantage of this volatility again. Without KYC and only with a Bitcoin deposit, it is an incredibly strong and valuable proposition right here. I do want to highlight with you guys once again, OKX. This is an up to $60,000 reward campaign that they're running for a very exclusive, limited time only. And that does end within 5 days. So if you haven't had a chance to get your rewards of up to 60K yet, you are nearly out of time. So definitely do check it out if you're interested. And with the rest of the links, Bybit as well, up to 30K, over 100K in total for all of these bonuses. Go get these bonuses. Go do that bounty hunting. It is worth the time with all the extra ammunition for your trading that these exchanges will give you. And you don't even need to keep your money on these exchanges when you get the bonuses. And that's the best part, is that, you just kind of deposit it, dangle your money in front of these guys a little bit, take your bonus, and then get the hell out and trade with the free money they're giving you. It is a very, very good model, and it does shortcut your way forward. A lot of you guys have taken advantage of this very well, so shout out to those of you who have. But there you go, guys. I hope you have appreciated this video. If you have, do me a favor, smash up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all of that good stuff, and I will be seeing you in my very next Bitcoin video tomorrow morning. So again, do make sure that you're not missing out on the time-sensitive nature of this content by subscribing, ticking the bell and all that stuff, and it will be a much more analysis focused video. I do want to know, did you like this? This is covering a very relevant news world, a real world news event. If this is something that you want to see more of, let me know. Typically, I don't talk about this stuff because you guys know how much I don't care about it and how much this is actually distracting and dangerous to be focusing on as traders. But at the same time, everyone's talking about it, and you guys always tell me you want to hear my thoughts on it. So if this is something you want me to continue, tell me. And if this is something you want me to avoid and stay closer to the normal TA, tell me that as well. I read your comments. Obviously, I don't reply to all of them, but I do read them all. So I really want to know what you have to say, and I will give you more of that. All right, guys, thank you all so much. You know what to do, and I'll see you all in the very next one. Cheers.